Hello, everyone. It is the Tonic Man. First of all, a big happy 2021 New Year and all the very best in the next 12 months. We had a rough year last year, but as we tried to do with everyone, keep you safe from getting more ill than anyone is, we did a pretty good job, I think, by getting folks to drink more tonic. And as the great Dan Mowry says on our website, the immune system is the key. All the other systems are important, but if you have a muscular skeleton system problem or a digestive system problem, you can get by. But if your immune system is down in the cellar, you are a target for anything that goes around. So we were able to do some very special offers for everyone. I don't know if everyone on the call managed to take advantage of them, but we did that in order for folks to drink more and stay well and not get ill. And we think it worked quite well. That's the reports we're getting from everyone. And so we were able to make a very, very special low cost. And all that with prices of everything we buy and everything we do going up nonstop. You go to the grocery store. I grocery shop. I know what things cost, and I know what the price is. Every month they go up again. So we were able, no matter what, to not only keep our prices, but make them lower. Now, how does that grab you? I think that's fantastic. So how we did it was a bit of a miracle. But one of the things we really lucked into was the taxes were lowered about 4 years ago. All companies like us started to save roughly about 7%. And then there were all the regulations that were relaxed. And we saved money because we didn't have to spend money to contend with all the regulations. And it doesn't seem that anything changed in the country as to if it runs better or runs worse. We all seem to manage. All the small businesses were able then to not increase their price to us, like the people who supply labels and the people who supply the caps and all that. So we were lucky in this last few years to really not have price increases that normally occur. Even though in the grocery store the prices were going up, those people could have maintained a lot of prices as well, but they chose not to. So we chose to keep the prices down, and we were able to give you more product. And so that's what we're going to continue trying to do. Now, I'm bringing this up because this year it looks like the taxes are going up, the regulations are going back, and all our expenses and costs are going to skyrocket. And if that happens, we're going to have to join the party and increase prices, which is what we do not want to do. So for the last couple of months, we've been really, really burning the midnight oil, trying to figure out how to do it, how to serve you, how to get more people out of their health woes, how to get more people on the JC and keep the prices down. Heck, bring them even lower if we can. And you know what? We had a brainwave. You know what it is? It's called volume. Volume. All you have to do is pay it forward. Share it with 5 other people. Get 5 other people drinking it. That will create the volume to be able to maintain lower prices, be able to maintain those special offer kind of prices. So November was a huge month because we had that last special offer that we were able to give, knowing what's coming in 2021. And I started thinking, what can we do? There must be a way. Well, there is a way, because in November it was a huge month, and the volume speaks the whole story. Every company who does volume saves money, is able to make it less costly. Things become cheaper. If you buy 1 million labels or if you buy 100,000 labels, there's a heck of a difference in the price. Same with the bottle and the cap and everything else. Same with the manufacturing. When you can run a product on a filling line nonstop, look at Coca-Cola. They sell 10,000 bottles a second. Anybody good at mathematics? You know how much that is? It's like, 800 million bottles a month. It's like enormous. Those filling lines continue nonstop. That's how they can keep the prices down. So everybody is in the same boat, us included. So we need everybody to start focusing in how to get the volume up. And we've been talking about that in the last few months more and more. And in the last couple of weeks, Lenny's been on the call and he's talked about it. And we are going to continue to talk about it so that you can all understand that it is doable. It's not something that's magic. It's doable. I talk to people every single day only about the product. That's what I do these days. I don't have to worry about the administration and the accounting and stuff like that. I concentrate on talking to people. Anybody can call me for any reason, whether they buy a bottle or don't buy a bottle. And I tell them how this works and what to do. And when they're on the tonic and they start to feel better, how easy it is to say, I think Lenny told me this a long time ago. He said, they just say, hey, what have you been doing? You look different. You look better. You look younger. You look stronger. And that's when you tell them what you do. It's not a selling job. You just share that story. So you all have good stories, and those new ones on the call for the first time, you're going to have a story because why? JC Tonic flat out work. We have some good stories tonight, and we want to share them with you. And again, these stories are for you to use because once they're done, they're put on our website on the email blast, and there's something called SoundCloud, and you just click on it, and it's in alphabetical order. You have somebody you know that has neuropathy, you just let them listen to the story. And we've made those snippets, which is just a story. You don't have to listen to me go on and on and on about stuff like this. You don't have to listen to anybody except the person telling the story, and you just play it. It takes 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and the person says, is that possible? Or wow, or gee, I'd like to try it, or something. You will elicit a response for them. They may tell you you're crazy, and that's okay. The word then is next. If you talk to enough people, you're going to get some who are going to say, wow, I want some. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, if you get on auto ship, which we have really, well, the auto ship price is just like the special price for the virus that we had on. So if you're on auto ship and you're drinking 1 or 2 bottles, you, your wife, your family, or maybe more, I mean, what's 5 bottles? You sell a couple here, a couple there. Serve everybody that's around you, your neighbor, when you're hanging on the fence next door. Make sure that somehow you come up with a subject about health and how are you and what's ailing you. And so it's easy to do that. You don't have to be a salesperson. As Lenny says, we don't sell. He doesn't sell. He talks, he tells, he shares. Talking about Lenny, we have him on the line and we're going to bring him on. And he has a guest. And there is another guest. There's a war veteran who's going to come on. He's about my age, you know, a young guy like me. I'm 83 now, and he's 84. Anyway, he'll tell you all about it. But let me first invite Lenny to jump in here. And Lenny, how are you? Did you hear what I was saying, Lenny?
Oh, absolutely, I did.
Okay, so that means you're front and center. Jump on. And we have a gentleman by the name of Bill who's going to be on as a guest. So whenever you have a guest, we can do that. Otherwise, we can bring Bill on. But I want you to say a few words anyway and get rolling.
Oh, that's great. You know what, Anthony, I was just texting Christine. I know she's there. She's from North Platte. And she was just so excited because she was texting me that I got a couple family members on it. And she just ran and raving how she's been sharing JC Tonic. And I think that's so important for everyone on the call to know.
Get her on tonight and tell her. Tell everybody. That's exactly what we have to do. That's exactly how to do it.
Christina, are you there? Go ahead and say something. I think we can hear you. Yeah, you were texting me all this, like, hey, I got family members taking it and all that stuff. Well, how were you able to do that, Christina?
Just talk about it. I know my sister and her husband are both been dealing with a lot of health issues, and my sister has tried it in the past, but she's had some negative health issues that have surfaced, and so I was encouraging her. She might be listening tonight because I asked them to both get on. My brother-in-law also has a lot of issues, and they're both kind of going through what the body does when you give it something good, that it will try to heal itself. And so that's what we're kind of in that process right now. I'm really encouraging them to stick with it and see if they can't get over the hurdle. Also, I have another person that's on, Cassie. I think she's on listening too. She hasn't got her tonic yet, but she's supposed to get it tomorrow, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
She's on. Let's see if we can find her.
whoever, anybody there who wants to jump in are welcome to,
Yeah, we kind of want to open the call. We even have Patricia from Texas. I believe. Patricia, are you there?
This is Kathy from New Mexico.
Oh, Kathy from New Mexico. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just here because Christine invited me.
Oh, that's excellent. Now, have you started the tonic yet, or you just got some?
I won't get it till tomorrow, hopefully.
Well, then Tuesday you're going to have a story.
I hope so.
Kathy, how were you convinced to take JC Tonic? I'm sure we're all interested in that because we all started somewhere.
I don't know if you want to be interested in my story because I'm not convinced. I figured I've done a bunch because I always do things natural, and every time I read a label from the prescription that the doctors give me, I go back to what I can try other than the prescription, and I just need to get my health under control, and I just thought it's $60. If I throw it down the tube, I throw it down the tube, but at least I can try it.
That's a good way. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. It's a $60 gamble.
You remember, Anthony, how skeptical I was? I'll never forget that. I mean, I gave the company a hard time because if you were like me, tried everything. A lot of people recommend certain potions and home remedies, and you're just like, you keep trying and trying. And I remember when JC Tonic came along, I was like, I was already burned out. You're broke from trying everything. It's like, But I'll never forget what the Shicks told me, and she said something I thought was, wow. She goes, well, what could you lose, Lenny? And I was just kind of stunned. I'm like, she goes, what if this is the right product? What if this is the one that helps you? And I'm like, okay, I'll try it. So, Kathy.
And that's right, Lenny. You've been saying that forever. She said, what do you have to lose? And that's what got you. That's what got you. And when you think of what you went through and all the different things you tried, both medications and herbs and whatever, I know you did the whole thing forever and spent a fortune. At the end, you said, what do I have to lose? And it worked. And that's the thing about opening the next door. No matter if people close the door when you're trying to explain to them how this could help them, you don't stop there. You try the next person because somebody's going to say, really? And just like you said, well, maybe it will work. And you know what? You really lucked out. It worked in spades, didn't it?
It really did, and I was surprised. I didn't expect anything, right away because I've read a lot on nutrition, and it brought out that it's not going to be like a magic pill overnight healing thing.
But in your case, it was, wasn't it?
It was. I noticed JC Tonic right away, Anthony.
Your eyes, I think, huh?
Yeah, I'll never forget when my wife was driving because I was legally blind, folks. I hadn't drove for quite a while. The doctors told me that my eyesight just completely deteriorated, and they tried a few operations, cataract operation. They tried cornea transplants for it. None of that took. But my health was really bad at the time, too. So when I took my first dose of JC Tonic, 1 ounce, and then I go, I got some samples. So I took a few more that night, and I'll never forget my wife, on the way home. She drove, of course, but I was reading the big print of some of the literature, and that's when she, stepped on the brakes, was screaming. I thought we were going to hit a car because I wasn't paying attention to her driving. I was just reading a little bit about JC Tonic, and she's like, Lenny, you're reading. I'm like, oh, my. I go, what do you mean I'm reading? She goes, you never could read? And we just both looked at each other because she parked on the side, and we were amazed. But that's what one of the reasons why I said I got to try this stuff. And folks, it was a gradual process, but little by little I started getting better and better, and that's what it'll do for you. Just keep taking it, and gradually you'll start to see changes in you. And my wife didn't see any changes, so she was skeptical all the way through for quite a while. In fact, she used to get mad. She goes, I don't understand why these people keep coming to the door, and they have tremendous stories, but this stuff's not working for me. And one day, it was like I was sleeping, because we were kind of like sleepers, hard to get up in the morning. Well, one day I heard the vacuum cleaner, and I'm like, what the heck? It woke me up, and I'm like, I look at my clock, and it's only 5 in the morning. So I went in the front room, and I said, JD, what are you doing? She goes, what do you mean I'm doing? I'm vacuuming. I go, it's only 5 in the morning. She goes, I think that tonic's working. So it's a gradual thing, yeah.
It'll work in mysterious ways. I talked to somebody the other day who said, no, it's not working very much. I said, nothing? I mean, did like maybe your nails or something? Oh, my good Lord, I never thought I'm cutting my nails twice a week now. Things like that creep up on people and they don't see it. But your health is part of the whole body. And I don't know what the magic is of this body of ours, but it seems to know what to do and what to repair first. And maybe it has to get certain things ready until it's able to attack the big stuff. But we have stories galore, folks. Get on the email, go and listen to them and share them for all you're worth. And we have a guest. Bill, are you on the call?
I am here, Anthony.
Mr. Bill is there, folks. Let me invite Bill on. He's out in Portland, and he has a story because he's been drinking this for, well, I'll let you tell the story, Bill. Please do.
Well, I haven't lived in Portland since 1945. I'm in Spokane.
Ah, Spokane. Sorry.
That's okay. Well, I've been taking JC Tonic I found some records. We went to a Matol convention in 1993.
Oh,
so I've been on it for a while, and I'll be 85 in a little less than a month.
Hoorah.
But I started taking it because a friend of mine had arthritis and was taking JC Tonic, and it really improved his arthritis pain and stuff. So I started taking it, and that didn't really do anything for my arthritis. But all of a sudden, after 3 months, I was not having migraine headaches, which I had 2 or 3 a month of, those killer kind. So I have not stopped taking it since, and I haven't had a migraine since.
That was when?
Well, that had to be about 20-some years ago.
Wow.
And I still have arthritis. I have osteoarthritis, but I don't have any pain except an occasional, so like somebody sticking me in the finger or something, but it could be so much worse, I'm sure, if I hadn't been on the tonic. And I talked to Barbara. I was taking an ounce a day, and then I went to an ounce morning and an ounce at night back in March. And I talked to Barbara on your staff, and she said, well, why don't you take both ounces at night before you go to bed? And I never slept really well. I get 4.5 to 5.5 hours of sleep every night, and all of a sudden I was getting 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep a night, and I feel so much better. So that was another great story for me. I really appreciated the tonic, and it is my aftershave lotion and my hair tonic. The Helena lotion, not the tonic, but the lotion I use that way. So I'm well covered by JC.
Well, Bill, at your age and having been drinking it for 30 years or more, that is a testament alone, because there are not many people at our age that are not creeping around in all kinds of pain and all kinds of health issues. And so if your osteo or rheumatoid arthritis does not pain you, I think that speaks volumes that your health is much better, even though it shows that you have the arthritis. But to me, if people are out of pain with any of these joint problems, that's more than half of the battle, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, I hate taking pain medications. I don't like to take any kind of drugs.
Yeah.
Kind of like you retained your youthful look. When I tell people I'm in my 80s, they say, oh, no, that can't be true. So I credit that to my JC Tonic, too.
What do they give you? How old? In your 60s?
No, they say it's 65 to 75. I get in that range.
Well, that's a big range.
Instead of 85.
I get closer to 70 when I'm tired and in my 60s when I'm not. But if you're looking 10 to 20 years younger at this time of life, that's the biggest testimonial that anyone could hear as to why they should continue drinking this and make it a lifestyle, because it indeed, that's why it's called a youth solution. It will indeed keep you younger, as you have just told us.
That's exactly right. And I have nothing else to credit that to. It has to be my JC Tonic.
Yeah, well, thank you, Bill, very, very much. Folks, you heard it again, and we've had many stories like that folks who drink this on an ongoing basis and make it part of the daily routine live longer, live better, live healthier, don't get colds, don't go to doctors as often. Whatever pain or illness or problems there are, they don't disappear completely. They improve tremendously, or it gets rid of the pain or the discomfort. So that's the very first thing to do. And in order to do that, we want you to do it by drinking absolutely free. And so that's the very first thing to think about. How do I drink free? Well, it's simple. Get a few people drinking, and they'll get a few people drinking, and teach them how to drink free as well. So we are going to do that on an ongoing basis and tell you tips and give you ideas and let you listen to folks who are doing just that by just sharing it with everybody around you. And as you know, it doesn't matter what age you are, everybody around you over 40 is complaining about something. You know, by the time they're 40, they start getting blood sugar loads and high blood pressure, and those things alone will age a body more quickly. So if you can stem it and get the folks to understand that this will keep those in healthy range, then the body has an easier time of growing old. And so it grows old slower. That's what happened to Bill. That's what's happening to me. And that's what's happened to a number of people our age. If you listened a few weeks ago, Walt was on. He still has a swimming pool business, for Pete's sake. He's up at the crack of dawn, and he works till late at night, and he bends, and he lifts, and he's in dynamite shape. And he's been drinking for 30 years. I think he started when about Bill started. So we have tons of folks like that. Be one of them. Just do it. Watch and see. You'll be down on your knees playing with your grandchildren or maybe great-grandchildren when a lot of your pals will not be able to because of their health. So, Lenny, do you have any guests?
I was looking for my guest. I do not see them, Anthony. They might have thought when they didn't hear anything. But
so if anyone on the line wants to jump in and tell us a story, we're opening the lines.
Anthony, I see Brian Polzar. Brian, are you there? Are you able to talk?
I am, Lenny and Anthony.
Well, Brian.
Hey, Brian. All right.
Brian's been using the tonic for a long time. Brian, how long has it been?
Let's see. In May, it's going to be 21 years. So over 20 years.
Wow. What made you start taking the tonic in the first place?
Well, we were on something else, and that stopped working. But my mom started first, and all of a sudden she started healing well. Allergies disappeared. Arthritis disappeared. Acid reflux thing disappeared. And she told me that you need to take this. I said, I don't need to take that. He said, yeah, you're sick. You just don't know it. You know. So I started taking it. Yeah, and about a month and a half or 2 months into it, I started feeling better. I'm 61 now, just turned 61. I tell people I feel better now than when I was in my mid to late 30s.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and people say, that can't be. I said, well, when I was in my 30s, I was tired, constantly tired. I could have slept any time I wanted. I had no problem sleeping, but I would still need my alarm to wake me up. Hit the snooze, go right back to sleep. You know, then eventually I got to get up and go to work, so you do it, but just tired. About a month and a half, maybe 2 months. I don't know, it was 20 years ago, so I don't remember exactly anymore. But right. I started waking up before my alarm clock. That never happened, and rested. So that disappeared. So now I actually need less sleep than what I did before, and I wake up feeling good. I was getting aches and pains. They disappeared. I lost all of my sense of smell and taste, and that came back little by little. I could start smelling things and tasting things again. Yeah, and so I'm not going to stop taking it. I don't want to go back to the way I was feeling.
Brian, did anybody notice a change in you, or did anybody say, like, what's going on with you?
Oh, gosh, I just don't remember. It was so long ago, but yeah, people would notice. One thing, like when I said I was always tired, if my wife and I would go out or something and I'd be sitting there at the table or, at a restaurant or at a bar or whatever and having some after dinner drinks and, we're sitting there for a while and just nothing going on. I'd start falling asleep.
I used to be the same, always tired. Oh, boy.
And I would just start falling asleep, and all of a sudden people started noticing me. Yeah, you're not sleepy anymore. You don't look tired. I said, well, I'm not. But I always look at it too as people are saying, all how this JC Tonic helps with this, all these things from A to Z, right? Because once you lose your health, it's not good.
Well, as we always say, we don't make any claims. We're very careful to make sure that everybody understands, all you folks listening, never to tell the people that it cures or prevents or treats. All those words are words that we cannot use on products like the tonic. But in the JC Tonic's case, it's easy to say that because, indeed, this does not cure anything. This is not for the liver or the stomach or the gout or the headache. This is to rebalance your body. And when that body starts to clean itself up and rebalance, and the systems start to feel like they were just tuned up like your car was, then everything functions better and the body is able to get rid of its problems. Because remember, those people that stayed healthy for years and years and years, it's because their body was healthy. When it started to break down, it's because the body was not quite so healthy, and some of the systems and chemical reactions, and who knows what, the body does a million things a second. Who knows what it's doing? All I know is that if it's not balanced and doing all what it's supposed to do, there are parts that are going to start to suffer. And you let that go for 10 years and then 20 years, well, of course, by the time you're 50, 60, you're in major health care because everything's falling apart. So they have all kinds of medications that stave off or prevent a thing from getting worse or pushing it back or stopping the pain. But did you ever notice when you talk to people who have these health issues, nothing ever leaves their body. It's always there. It continues to get worse, so they continue to increase the prescription, and they control it the best they can, because those are the tools they have. But folks, look, before there were prescription medication, the Indians in America, whatever they were in any country in Mesopotamia, around the world, where there were human beings, they didn't all die off. They were able to maintain themselves and keep their bodies relatively healthy, maybe healthier than ours, by eating plants, by finding these same botanicals that we use in this preparation. So this is not a miracle thing. It's just that my father happened to figure it out and put it in a bottle, and that's what you have. And folks, you can go forward and talk to folks about this in this manner, and whether they understand or don't understand the human body, they're going to understand that if you keep a body in healthy shape, it'll stay healthy for much longer and break down much less quickly. That's what happened to Brian. That's what happened to Bill. And you see the ones that stop and start, they stop and then all of a sudden start feeling lousy again. Yeah, because time marches on. The body's breaking down. My body's breaking. Everybody's body's breaking down every second of the day. It's how slow can your body break down? How can you stop it from breaking down too quickly that actually ends up to be the youth solution? Hey, how do you like that?
Yeah, Anthony, when I first saw, the youth solution on the bottle, I was like, come on. I thought it was a gig or a gag or whatever. But you know what? Over, 20 years I've been drinking it, I literally don't seem to be aging very fast. And I'm not just saying that, but...
Well, you are, because your picture shows that that's the case.
My hair's so dark. Even my mom's like, your hair looks blacker. I'm like, because I'm going to be 60. So, most 60-year-olds, already getting gray and stuff like that. And I just get a few here and there. And then when I pull it out, it doesn't come back. But I feel good. I feel young. I feel like my body's able to digest better. My metabolism working better. So I'm full of energy. And my body is like, I still feel like I'm thin and youthful. And I know it's got to be. But
you are, Lenny, and everybody that is like you is because of this, and we just don't use it enough. Talk about take it for granted. Hey, is our pal Betty on the line? But I'm saying the where's Betty because she's another example. She started drinking back when Bill did, and heck, I think even you started the other product there in the 90s, early 90s probably. So drinking this and keeping yourself in tune, that's it, in tune. Keep your body tuned up. Then at 60, you're going to feel and look younger, as Bill is at 85 and me at 83 and many, many, many hundreds, maybe thousands of other people. So, of course, one of the biggest parts of the family unit is the older folks in your family, and get to them. Look, they may not start to look 20 years younger, but what if they don't age as fast any longer? Well, that's the same as staying young.
It's true, Anthony. I just wanted to bring a little bit about my mom because she's 83 now, and she's been on the tonic, I would say, close to 20 years, because I told her, Mom, you need to get on this stuff, because she was worn out. She was only in her 60s. She couldn't work anymore. She couldn't fix her lawn. I mean, everything was just going downhill for her. So I'll never forget when I told her, Mom, you're taking this. She goes, no, I don't like stuff like that. We kind of got a little argument, and I said, Mom, I never want to put you in the nursing home. She goes, oh. So I got her on the tonic, and folks, my mom's 83, still does not have to take any kind of medication. She still functions really good. I know she's aging, and I know sooner or later we all might see the pine box one day. We can't stop that. But my mom, at least, she remembers everything. She's functioning really good. She has a few little aches and pains, but that's about it. And it's shocking because the doctors are like, shouldn't you be on medication? What medications are you taking? And she says none, and they're like amazed.
Isn't that just a really splendid story? I just love to hear that. And everybody on the call can have their parents and grandparents being in the same situation. You know, one thing about this, folks, it's never too late to start. If you're 80 and you start, you're going to see the benefits. If you're 60, you will. Sure, if you're 25 and you start, you'll never see the problems ever. But no one or very few people will do it thinking they're going to stay younger when they're young, because they don't think they're going to grow older. It's only when you're older you start saying, oh, boy, I should have drank that stuff. But it'll work for every single person, only if you have blood. If you don't have any blood, it doesn't work.
That's true. Anthony, I just want to say one more thing, and then, our call's getting a little there. But
well, if anyone else wants to say a word, invite them on, Lenny. Otherwise, go right ahead and then wind up the call.
Okay, let me see here. I think all the lines are closed. That's why. I don't remember how to unmute everybody. But what I wanted to say, folks, we're real here at Jurak World Wide. I mean, we're not trying to do an infomercial. We're not trying to be real, trickery or anything. It's just live. And we're talking about JC Tonic because we hope other people will try it, and we hope you share it with other people. And one of the things I like to do is the company talks about saving a life. And I love sharing JC Tonic with other people, especially the skeptical ones. I don't mind that at all. I've been told no like several times and lectured.
You mean times. Several hundred times.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes they end up trying it because, they've tried everything else. And again, why don't I try this? But people everywhere really need to feel better. And that's what JC Tonic's all about. I remember reading stories of your dad, and he didn't create it simply to I got something I could put on the market. No, he created it for himself. He took it himself. He shared it with other people, and that's when he started getting the idea that, oh, man, I can't keep up with this. I better do something, because it was just so overwhelming for him. He had no choice but to put it on the market. And how long ago was that?
1943.
Yeah, 1943 when he put it on the market. But before that, I'm sure he shared it with so many people, and the stories are still coming in. So if you haven't tried JC Tonic yet, please do, and give it a chance. It's not going to be overnight. Your body takes time to heal itself. Remember, the tonic doesn't heal, but your body takes time to get better. And you may get some road bumps on the way. Sometimes you feel better, sometimes you don't, but little gradually your body starts to get stronger and stronger, and you will see the difference. Trust me on that, you will see the difference. So
well, Lenny, you are a really classic example of someone who came back from close to the pine box. I remember when we first met and you were telling your story, or I hadn't met you yet, but you told the story. And of course, we have pictures of you with your body just a wreck. And now today, when you're 60, the young girls tell you they think you're about 40. So that's a heck of a testament, you know.
It really is. I mean, I looked really bad before JC Tonic. I'm talking like an old man. Oh, man, that was tough.
Well, the
that
doctor
really
said you had a body of an 80-year-old at the time.
Yeah, because they tried all kinds of tests and everything. I mean, I was constantly going to see specialists, doctors, and my poor wife, it was wearing her down. And that's what the doctor says. You're like an old man. And I said, well, what could I do? He says, I don't know. He goes, you got a lot of problems. And folks, that's what my plight was. So before JC Tonic, I kid you not, we had heard, we went to the doctor, me and my wife. The last time was like, they said, there's nothing we could do for you. Nothing. So I thought that was it. And I'll never forget my wife crying, you know, because it's traumatizing when they say they can't do anything. But my poor wife, she cried and cried for days. I kid you not, like 3 days later, that's when I got the phone call about JC Tonic. And I hung up. I hung up 3 times but the lady was really persistent. She kept calling back. We didn't have cell phones then, and we can see who's calling. Those were the old dial phones, and you just answered it because you didn't want to miss a call. But I'll never forget Joan. She called me 3 times after I hung up on her. And look at me today. If I would have never re-answered that phone, where would I be? Oh, man. I don't even want to think about it. So thank you, Anthony, for the JC Tonic. And all of you listeners, just try and stick with it. You'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay, Lenny, that is fantastic, folks. It's our first combined call, Lenny and I, for the new year. Take a note of everything we said. Of course, it'll all be in the email going out at the first of the week. And think about it. And think about paying it forward, saving a life, and all the good stuff, and staying young. And on that note, Lenny?
Take an ounce and feel the bounce.
That's it. Take an ounce and feel the bounce, folks. See you next week.
See you next week.
Jurak Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and or function of your body in various ways. But it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Jurak Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.